Welcome to the Macro Mindset. I'm Coach Catherine, and I'm excited you're here with me. This is the podcast where we discuss how real change starts with your mindset, not perfection. And I'm here to help you break free from the exhausting cycle of starting over, build unshakable confidence, and navigate emotional eating with compassion and clarity. Here, we cut through the noise with evidence-based strategies designed for your real life. No fad diets, no rigid rules, just practical tools and honest conversations. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee, heading out for a walk, or in the thick of a busy day, this is your space to pause, reflect, and choose your next step forward. Each week, you'll hear real stories, science-backed insights, and simple mindset shifts that empower you to become the most resilient, confident version of yourself, one small, imperfect step at a time. So let's ditch the all-or-nothing thinking, embrace progress over perfection, and create a life that truly fits you. You're not alone in this. Let's dive in and start building your macro mindset together. Hey there, and welcome back to the Macro Mindset. I'm Coach Catherine, and it's Tuesday, which means we're diving deep into the mindset shifts that create lasting transformation. When you think about strength training, what comes to mind? If the word bulky just flashed through your head, you're exactly who I'm talking to today. Did you know that strength training offers real mental health benefits for women? The research is especially strong when it comes to reducing symptoms of depression, and there's some improvement in anxiety as well, across all ages and life stages. Yet, despite these powerful benefits, about 65% of women still steer clear of weights because of a fear that they'll get bulky. Let me paint a picture that might feel familiar. Sarah, who's 45 and absolutely killing it as a marketing director, came to me and said, "Catherine, I know I should lift weights, but I don't want to look, bulky." Sound familiar? Maybe you've had the same thought. I hear this all the time, and honestly, I get it. Society has sold us this narrative that there's only one right way for women to look. Maybe you're worried your clothes will fit differently, or you're wondering what your friends or family might say if you started getting stronger. Here's the thing, though. After years of coaching hundreds of women, I can tell you, those fears are rooted in myths, not reality. Today, we're rewriting the story of strength together. Strength training doesn't make you bulky. It makes you powerful. And there's a massive difference. When you start to see your body as capable, resilient, and strong, not something to shrink or hide, but something to celebrate, you step into a whole new kind of confidence. This isn't about fitting into someone else's mold or meeting society's expectations. It's about rewriting your own rules and defining what strong means for you. So yes, you might worry about what will change, your body, your wardrobe, even what people say. But here's what I've learned. The real transformation isn't just physical, it's mental. Women who strength train feel more powerful, more confident, and more resilient in every area of life. And the science backs that up. Strength training is linked to better mental health, higher self-esteem, and a greater sense of capability, especially as we age. Today, I invite you to let go of the fear of getting bulky and embrace the possibility of getting powerful, because you deserve to feel strong in your body, your mind, and your life. You know what? Let me share a personal story that really transformed my perspective on the whole getting bulky fear. I've never been scared of building muscle. In fact, I set myself a goal. I wanted to deadlift my husband's weight. I started at about half his body weight, and Over time, I worked my way up until I could lift him multiple times. But here's the thing, it was never about proving anything to anyone else. That goal was a symbol of something bigger, the shift from hoping I could handle life to truly knowing I could handle whatever comes my way. Living up here in the Canadian mountains, gorgeous but honestly pretty isolated, meant I had to create my own home gym. That gave me the space to lift consistently for years. And you know what I discovered? The real change wasn't just in my body, though the physical benefits were amazing. The true transformation was mental. Every time I added weight to the bar and surprised myself, I was building evidence that I was more capable than I thought. That doesn't just show up in the gym, it spills over into boardrooms, tough conversations, and life's curveballs. That's not bulky energy, that's power energy. And once you feel it, you can't unfeel it. I know some of you might be thinking, okay, Catherine, but don't just tell me. Show me the proof. And honestly, I get it. That's why I always come back to the science and real stories, because the truth is, strength training is so much more than aesthetics. It's about mental resilience, confidence, and the kind of transformation that changes how you show up everywhere in your life. So if you've ever worried about getting bulky or wondered if you even belong in the weight section, just know this is about stepping into your power inside and out. And the best part, once you experience it, it changes everything. Let's bust these myths wide open with real, evidence-based facts. Because honestly, you deserve the truth, not outdated fear-mongering or diet culture noise. Myth number 1, lifting weights makes women bulky. Here's the thing, women have about 15 to 20 times less testosterone than men. And testosterone is a key player in building the kind of muscle mass you might associate with bulk. The reality is, those bodybuilders you're picturing, they're training for hours a day, following strict nutrition protocols, and often using specialized supplements. For most women, strength training leads to a stronger, leaner, more defined body, not accidental bulk. If you're doing squats a couple times a week, I promise you're not going to bulk up. You're going to get more powerful, confident, and resilient. It's a myth rooted in old thinking, not modern science or real-life results. Myth number 2, cardio is better for fat loss. Here's the real truth. Cardio and strength training aren't punishments for eating, and they're not just tools for burning fat. They're ways to get better at life. When you train for strength, you're not just building muscle, you're building confidence, stronger bones and joints, and a body that's ready to support you through every season of life. And with cardio, you're supporting your heart, lungs, and building the stamina to do more of what you love for longer. It's true that strength training increases your calorie burn after a workout, the afterburn effect, or EPOC, which stands for excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. But that effect is honestly pretty modest. What matters way more is that with every workout, you're investing in a body that's more capable, energetic, and resilient. This is about setting a foundation for healthy aging, independence, and true vitality, not just chasing a lower number on the scale. If fat loss is your goal, that's a separate conversation. It usually comes down to your nutrition and your overall movement throughout the week. Think step goals and staying active day to day, not just formal exercise. But exercise, that's your chance to practice getting better at movement itself, to surprise yourself with what you can lift, how far you can go, and how powerful you feel along the way. So let's reframe it together. Don't move your body just to burn calories. Move your body to get better at moving, to feel strong and alive, and to build a future where you trust your body to carry you through anything. That's the growth mindset in action, focusing on progress, skill, and capability, not just outcomes. If you're ready to step into that kind of power, you're rewriting your fitness story in the best way possible. And honestly, your future self will thank you for starting today. All right, let's talk about one of the most common concerns I hear. Myth number 3, I'll lose my curves. Here's the reality. Strength training doesn't erase your curves. It actually enhances your natural shape. You're not losing anything. You're building the foundation that makes your unique curves stand out. Think of your muscle as the beautiful sculpture underneath, a shape that supports, lifts, and defines, no matter your starting point. And I know some of you might be thinking, that sounds great, Catherine, but where's the proof? Let's look at what the research actually says, because this isn't just hype, it's science. For example, a study found that just 12 weeks of resistance training increased bone density in postmenopausal women by 2 to 3%. That might sound small, but in bone health terms, that's huge. And it means you're literally laying down the foundation for a stronger, healthier body as you age. And get this, another study found that women who strength trained had a 40% lower risk of developing osteoporosis. So, we're not just talking about muscle here, we're talking about building a stronger future for yourself, one rep at a time. The benefits go way beyond appearance. Now, let's talk about mental health. The research is clear. Resistance training reduces symptoms of depression and, to a lesser extent, anxiety in women, with the strongest evidence for improvements in depression across different ages and health conditions. While it's not a replacement for therapy or medication, strength training can be a powerful addition to your mental health toolkit. You're not just changing your body, you're changing your brain. And here's something that should make every woman pay attention. Muscle mass is a strong predictor of healthy aging and independence for women over 65, sometimes even more so than body weight or cardiovascular fitness. By building muscle, you're investing in vitality and autonomy for years to come. But you don't have to wait until 65 to experience the transformative power of strength. Let me share how this shows up in real life. Right now, for the women I work with every day, take Lisa, for example. At 42, she was hesitant to even pick up a weight. What if I do it wrong? She asked in our first session. But 3 months later, something remarkable happened. She walked into our session with this incredible energy and said, Catherine, I asked for a promotion yesterday. I asked her what changed, and she said, I deadlifted 135 pounds on Tuesday. If I can do that, I can definitely ask my boss for what I'm worth. That's not a coincidence. That's science in action. When you prove to yourself that you can do more than you ever imagined physically, it changes how you show up everywhere else. Another client, Jennifer, told me, I used to walk into rooms hoping nothing would go wrong. Now I walk in knowing I can handle whatever happens. That's the true transformation. Strength training doesn't just build muscle, it builds mental evidence that you can do hard things. And that new sense of confidence, it shows up in every part of your life. So, if you're worried about losing your curves, I invite you to flip the script. You're not losing, you're gaining. You're gaining shape, strength, confidence, and a foundation for a powerful future. That's the real magic of strength training, and you deserve to experience it. You know what's interesting? When you first start strength training, your muscles feel sore and your body feels, well, stressed. But here's the mindset shift that changes everything: that stress isn't harmful. It's literally the exact signal your body needs to get stronger. The burn in your muscles? That's not damage. That's growth happening in real time. And when you start seeing physical stress as beneficial rather than something to avoid, it changes how you approach every other challenge in your life. I had a client tell me recently, I used to run from discomfort. Now I'm like, oh, this is just growth happening, right? What a difference that makes, not just for fitness, but for everything. And for women 40 plus, this becomes non-negotiable, not for looks, for life. Every squat you do today is an investment in being able to get off the toilet at 80. Every deadlift is practice for picking up your grandkids. Every push-up is building the bone density that determines whether a fall at 70 is an inconvenience or a life changer. The research is crystal clear. Resistance training is one of the most effective ways to maintain bone density through menopause and beyond. We're literally building the foundation that determines our independence as we age. This isn't about vanity. This is about vitality. It's about walking confidently instead of shuffling carefully. It's about living fully instead of just existing carefully. But here's what I see stopping women more than anything: perfectionism and permission. I don't know the right way to do it. I should probably lose weight first. I don't belong in the weight section. Listen to me. You don't need to be perfect to start. You need to start to get better. And you absolutely have permission to take up space, to make noise, to grunt if you need to prioritize getting stronger over getting smaller. Let's talk about these barriers because honestly, they're real and they've held far too many women back for far too long. Maybe you've caught yourself thinking, I'm too old to start. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that in coaching sessions. But here's the thing. The oldest client I've ever worked with started her strength journey at 68. Now, she's 72 and feels stronger than she did at 60. Age isn't a barrier. It's an invitation to discover what's possible for you at any stage of life. Or maybe you're dealing with injuries or chronic aches and think, I have too many injuries to lift weights. I get it. That fear is valid. But the truth is, proper strength training often helps with injury recovery. We don't ignore limitations. We work with them, not despite them. Strength training can be adapted for almost any body, and it's about progress, not perfection. Then there's the time factor. I don't have time. I promise you, I've witnessed incredible transformations from women doing just 2 20-minute sessions a week. It's not about squeezing in long, exhausting workouts. It's about consistency and showing up for yourself in small, meaningful ways. And what about, I should lose weight first? Honestly, that's backwards thinking. Strength training actually helps you lose weight more sustainably because it preserves your muscle and helps you feel more energetic and capable. You don't have to wait until you reach some magic number on the scale to get started. Start now and let the benefits build. Finally, that nagging doubt. I don't know enough. Here's the secret. Nobody starts knowing everything. You learn by doing. Every single woman I've coached has started with more questions than answers. You don't have to be an expert on day one. Progress comes from taking those first imperfect steps and being open to learning along the way. So, whatever story you've been telling yourself about why you can't start, I want you to know it's just a story, not the truth. You're never too old, too busy, too injured, or too inexperienced to begin. You have permission to start exactly as you are, and I'll be right here cheering you on every step of the way. Here's the real transformation that happens with strength training. Your relationship with your body completely shifts. Instead of, do my arms look fat in this? You start thinking, these arms just moved 100 pounds. Instead of, I hate my thighs, it becomes, these legs carried me up that mountain. Your body stops being something you criticize and starts being something you celebrate, not because of how it looks, but because of what it can do. Let me share more stories that illustrate this transformation perfectly. Karen, who is 52, came to me after her doctor told her she needed to accept that joint pain was just part of aging. 6 months of strength training later, she's hiking mountains and playing with her grandkids pain-free. Another client that inspired me was Diana, who started strength training during her divorce, told me, learning I could deadlift 120 pounds gave me the confidence to rebuild my entire life. If I could do that, I could do anything. I want you to imagine yourself 1 year from now. You're carrying your suitcase upstairs without getting winded. You're playing on the floor with kids or even grandkids, invited to play soccer with your teens and easily getting up or keeping up. You're looking in the mirror and thinking, I look strong, instead of focusing on what you want to change. You're walking into meetings with a different kind of confidence. You're navigating challenges with the quiet knowledge that you can handle hard things. You're aging with power instead of just aging. So here's my favorite reflection for you this week. What's one way you noticed yourself getting stronger, faster, or just more confident in your body? Seriously, take a moment to think about it. That's the kind of evidence that shifts your whole narrative and builds real, sustainable motivation. Because now you're not just exercising for some far off result, you're doing it for you, for your own sense of strength and possibility. So, if you are a person that is struggling to get started, which I totally get, here is an idea I would love for you to try. Pick one movement. It could be something as simple as bodyweight squats while your coffee brews, wall push-ups at your kitchen counter, or maybe carrying your groceries in a new way. Do it just 3 times this week. That's it. No overcomplicating, no perfection required, and as you do it, really tune in. How do you feel before, during, and after? Do you notice a shift? Maybe feeling stronger, more capable, powerful, or even proud? That awareness is so important because recognizing small wins is what actually fuels bigger change over time. Next Tuesday, we're diving into Fuel with Confidence, why carbs are key to energy and sustainable fat loss. Carbs aren't the enemy, fear is. We'll talk about how to confidently fuel your body with the foods you love while supporting fat loss, hormones, and mental clarity. You do not want to miss this one. Until then, remember, you're not trying to get bulky. You're trying to get powerful. And honestly, your future self is going to thank you for starting today. Thanks so much for being here. If this episode sparked something in you, maybe a mindset shift, a moment of, wait, I've never heard it put that way, or just a burst of hope, I'd love for you to hit that follow button and leave a review. But honestly, here's where it gets even more powerful. I'm not just here to create a podcast. I want to create a movement, the kind that reaches women who have never heard these ideas before, who need to know there's another way to feel strong and confident in their bodies and their lives. If you found value here, please share this episode with a friend, your group chat, or on social media. You never know who's out there needing this exact message. Sometimes all it takes is hearing a different perspective from someone they trust to start their own transformation. When you share, you're not just supporting me, you're making a ripple that could change another woman's life. Let's build this community together, one courageous, empowered share at a time. And if you do share, tag me so I can thank you personally and cheer you on. Because here's the thing, real change, it's social. We rise higher when we rise together. And always remember, you are capable, you are resilient, and you're building your future, one thoughtful choice at a time. I'm Catherine, and this has been the Macro Mindset, where every small mindset change adds up to lasting transformation. See you next time. Keep moving forward.